Hey, yippee up, nice to have you in. How are you? How was your start into the week? So, as for me, I'm having this weird server effect. So now and then when I launch DayZ via the DayZ launcher, just doesn't work. I'm gonna try it now once more via the launcher. And otherwise I would use the in-game launcher, which usually helps. Hey, we got a date? Weight loss? Okay, still 2 months. Okay, so they did publish that date today, yeah? No, I haven't. I have to admit I haven't. That's great. Okay, here I am. Now finally the game worked. And so let me show you my screen. Oh no. There, I thought it wouldn't. Yeah, I was meddling around with the settings a bit of my streaming software, and I was pretty much afraid that I did something bad. So, yeah, good evening, guys. I am actually returning to some game which I have, paused or abandoned something like a week ago, and yeah, we are playing DayZ, my most favorite survival and zombie game. Well, I would call it mainly survival, and well, a survival game with zombies in it. Let me put it like that. Some people might call it a zombie game, but yeah, I think the main point is about survival and about PvP. Hiking boots, well, I do have damaged hiking boots. Now the question is which are the worse or the better. You see, I do have quite some equipment. We are on Tier Isle, and let's take a look at the map. We are in the very, no, not in the very, but in the, hey, where's my map? Oh, guys, that's buggy. Okay, I logged in, and then I got kind of kicked out while I was standing here, and now it pretty much looks like that I lost my map on that. Luckily the game is relatively stable, but yeah, see, looks pretty much like the map is gone. I don't have it in the inventory anymore. Well, however, there is more important things in life than having a map, like food and drink and warm clothes. But it would have been nice. So then, as I usually don't use off-game maps for the sake of immersion, I could just tell you that at the moment I am on the western coast of the Deer Isle mainland, and somewhere in the center. So when you go on the western coast from south to north, I'm somewhere just in the middle. Hey, come on, battery comes welcome. Comes in welcome. Comes in handy, that's what I wanted to say. And played this in my last life, so I feel a little bit like cheating to recheck it again. This map is Wildlands, a map which I pretty much like. Although, well, it's not highly frequented by players, which is a pity. The map itself is pretty great. I mean, it's DRL, okay, but it has a very nice loadout of mods. That's why I pretty much like to play it. Okay, so now I'm back to the chat. Sorry, guys. Oh, all right. So, fingers crossed, yippee that your exams went all right. Oh yes, I'm very, very curious, weight loss, on what we're gonna get with that update. Yeah, well, let me see, what do we have here? Yeah, I haven't been playing for roughly a week. I mean, at least DayZ I haven't been playing for roughly a week. And in between I had been on a different server. Hunter pants, no, not in this color, please, I want to have some camo. And yeah, I have been playing this character here already, I think, since 4 sessions, if I remember right. And yeah, right now I want to continue. We've got some called magazine. Well, let's pick it up for now. Check later if we make use of it. And yeah, I'm in kind of the exploration mode and survival mode, which is pretty nice for the DRL map. DRL, yeah, is actually, I would say, my favorite, together with Generous. Pretty much love this map. It's so vast and so wonderfully modeled. You really can't believe that all this map was just done by one guy in his free time over something like 5 years or longer. He was constantly working on that map. And that's so very exciting. Yep, amazing, isn't it? So he started so systematically, first opening the map in very small areas where you could play. That was something like, I don't know, 5 years ago, is my guess. At that time the map was still relatively small and boring, and then he expanded it area by area. Yeah, and so amazing. The guy calls himself John McLean. You could even see him streaming on Twitch. He has a Twitch channel and streams. He's working on maps. He also did one other map. I just don't, at least one other map. I just don't recall the name, I have to admit. So now we are going to do a little bit of hiking, because my goal is to get north. Really want to get northward and check that very north town where I haven't been. I never really looted that northern town on the mainland of DRL. I went that far, but whenever I came up there, somehow, well, I died, or I decided to go for the western little islands and explore them. Actually, when we last were around here, there was a Zodiac floating here. Problem was that had no fuel and no spark plug, so we couldn't go with it. Yeah, as for our inventory, we do have very good stuff. Some of that is a bit damaged, so it wouldn't be bad if we found a Zuin kit or a leather Zuin kit. But in total, we are quite fine. And we even do have proper ammo for the guns that we have. So look at the P1 with full mag. We have the BK pump action rifle, also with quite some ammo. We have the submachine gun here, that little Scorpion with a full mag. I think we also have spare mags somewhere. Or maybe not. We will check that later. And beautiful, this is my favorite marksman rifle in the game. So up to now we don't have a mag, but for a marksman rifle I always feel that it's perfectly fine if you just chamber it. So you wouldn't use that on close quarters anyway. And a nice little close combat weapon is the brass knuckles. Yeah, we are pretty remote. That's so kind of nice. The DayZ map always gives you this feeling of vastness and remoteness. At the moment we do have a bottle of water with us, and we still have a bit of food, so we are quite all right. And we have quite some good carrying capacity. We have this beautiful hunter's backpack. We have a vest, which gives us quite some carrying capacity, clothing, everything. So, okay, so the vanilla and chocolate cupcake got rotten, so let's drop it. Yeah, we have good stuff. We have bandages. We even have fish lures, so we could go fishing if we need more food. We have a saline bag, which already has connected an intravenous connection kit, although it's badly damaged. So some of my stuff is not in the best condition. Because over the time we took quite a few hits and beatings from zombies. By the way, yippee yap, sorry. May I ask what kind of exams you actually had today? Perfectly fine if you don't answer. I mean, maybe you want to keep like job or study and gaming separated, but yeah, just out of curiosity. Ah, nice. Okay. Yeah, so as I said, fingers crossed that something good is going to come out of that. What do we have there? Ah, great. A carnival mask. And this is really great. No irony. Something to drink. A Pepsi. What do you mean? What we had there in the shelf? You mean that one? You can put it on A carnival mask, yep. Yeah, well, I'm perfectly fine with my ski mask. Gives me much better warmth than camo. And yeah, I like my outfit actually. I don't want to really look too military-like in this game, but good camo is vital. I mean, not for the zombies, they don't care. Yeah, they don't care what you wear. They more or less hear you. But the other players, for meeting other players, it's always spotting is the matter of survival. Who spots the other first survives an encounter. And well, good camo like this really helps you a lot. So there is lots of zombies there. Okay, that guy spotted us. So let's hope that he stays the only one. 1, 2. That was fast. Maybe I just walk around that place. Or yeah, come on, it's a police station. Let's check it. Okay, door closed. Now let's check the rooms. Did close that door, didn't I? Yeah, I pretty much like this server because the loot on the server is pretty rare, which makes the survival feel even better. Maybe that's the reason why the server is not too crowded usually. Maybe people are pissed off by that fact, but I like it. I mean, this thing here is kind of a simulation of the apocalypse, and you would expect to have not much stuff around, and stuff you get might be not in the best condition. Oh yeah, it's getting warm. We are going to, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning or something. But yeah, right now I'm just getting too warm, so the question is whether I should take off some stuff. Let's see what happens if I take off the ski mask. Yeah. This heat concept is actually in the vanilla game by now already. So it was implemented by modders, I think primarily for the Namalsk server, but yeah, now they actually did implement it on the vanilla game. And now I want to check these cars in the backyard. Yeah, okay, so I think you're more interested in my streaming of U-Boat, I think, right? Than this one here. Yeah, well, anyway, nice that you also drop in for this one. Pretty much like this. Yeah, let me call it this Gedankenexperiment, this simulation of a survival situation after the breakdown of society. Well, okay. I can understand that some people might not be so enthusiastic about the zombie approach, but well, in this game, well, the zombies are part of it. And I pretty much like them. They give some additional pepper. Oh, fuck. To the gameplay. Particularly in phases when you don't run into other players. And sometimes you can be pretty happy not to run into other players. So let's stay away from these large buildings. My experience, and yeah, that experience is shared with other players, is that you never find much useful stuff. It takes ages to scan through all the apartments. Well, not all of them are accessible, but even the accessible ones. And you just don't find any much good loot. Oh shit. I'm pretty sure that I am listening to two zombies at a time, so that's bad. That's something that you don't want to have. That's something you... Oh. Oh shit, I'm bleeding. Problem is that I am carrying too much stuff. I am definitely carrying too much stuff, which makes me I do have a pretty low stamina, so after a few hits I can't do the heavy hits anymore. So I'm pretty sure that this will have given some damage to my gear. The shirt, yeah. The shirt has got damaged. It was alright before. Well, however, always want to have one of these packages at hand up here. So that's important that you have some kind of a system how to store away your stuff so that you could quickly find it in a tricky situation. Yeah, I love this game because the atmosphere is great. I mean, if you're kind of an expert in graphics and things, I guess that people might say that this is not the most high-end graphics that you get here, but what they make out of it from an art point of view, it's so great. I mean, if you compare it with other open world games, many other open world games look kind of comic-like, and I don't mean Fortnite or something, for games which do that comic-like appearance on purpose, but they involuntarily look a little bit sketched. And this one here, it's just feeling real, if you ask me. You have the swaying of the trees, the wind in your ears, all the sound, and birds and the sea, just everything. So now we are gonna do a little bit of hiking. I don't remember, I did have some other plans, but right now, hey, let's just go north. Would have been nice if I had found another bicycle. But I think the bicycles were not on this server. That was the day one or the 0 server, not quite sure. So let's get up that hill, and this will give us a good view. We are fine in terms of food and drink. And it would be so great if we found a working Zodiac along the coast. But I'm not very optimistic at the moment. It's a pity we actually lost the map due to a bug. That was when I first logged in. I was kind of kicked out again before I let you enter the view of the stream. And at that point, that must have happened, that I lost the map. I was yielding it in my hand when I kind of got kicked from the server, which is pretty seldom. The game, at least on my machine, or let me say my machines that I had over the last 10 years, this game always ran pretty alright, while many people were kind of struggling and swearing about crashes or something. For me it always worked fine. Sorry, I didn't quite get your question. What do you mean by what? Now I get it. Yeah. Just my mistake. It's perfectly clear what you mean. Well, good point. I mean, good question. I'm gaming so long, so there were even periods in my life when I did game almost not at all. But yeah, meanwhile I'm back in since a while again. And in the very beginning it was more like adventure games, say. Yeah, the immersion actually, that was always my kind of motto, why I loved games. Diving into a kind of different world, meeting adventures. We're gonna check that one now. That's a large police station. I can't really quite pin it down. What got me into gaming? I can't tell. I was always fascinated by this. It's kind of like I love to read. Oh, I hope this is not a bear. That didn't sound too well. I'm not quite sure. Could have been a stag, but I somehow feel that was a bear. So not too bad to get some shelter here. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Maybe too. That sounds... Maybe we should get onto the roof and take a look out. Yeah, I just love to dive into kind of fantastic worlds, fantasy worlds. It doesn't necessarily have to be fantasy genre, but yeah, just fiction, science fiction. Oh wow, let's pick that up. Another bandage. Let's not take another one of these road flares. They are quite comfortable to light a fire. But at the moment, hey, I'm already carrying too much stuff. What about you? Could you actually name it and say what got you into gaming? Yes, right. That's it somehow, right? Diving into kind of different worlds. Yep. Hey, come on. That doesn't sound reassuring. I pretty much believe that this is a bear. And it's coming from somewhere over there, does it? Hard to tell, actually. Pretty hard to tell. What do you think, guys? Anyone has some experience in the game, in the stream? It's not that one, is it? Ah, it's running away. That's a pity. I was just considering to try to give it a try with my marksman rifle. That was a boar, was it? But why did it run away? No, I don't hear anything anymore. Maybe that was just the sound of the boar. I haven't met a bear for quite a while. Yeah, in total, I think I had something like 5 or 6 bear encounters. And yeah, don't want to boast, but actually I survived all of them. A few just barely, and a few just because I had a pal who supported me in killing the bear. Others I did survive because I spotted the bear early enough I could run away or sneak away. So, maybe you shouldn't say that, but up to now I was never killed by a bear in the game. So, well, Murphy's Law says that as soon as you say that, if something like half an hour later you're dead because you were killed by a bear, right? Yeah, I waited out on the taller building, but right now I don't hear anything anymore. So let's get down here. Just gonna be AFK briefly, so please take care for my character. Be back in a minute. again. At least I'm still alive and you're still on the stream. Thanks for your patience. Sorry, I just checked something in parallel. We will be back any second. Yeah. So while I was out, did you hear any more roaring? Whatever it was. Looks like it might be safe to carry on. Yeah, there is this little bug with the ammo. Well, that sometimes happens. So that was not too fruitful, the looting. Let's carry on and let's hope for the best. Let's get back to the coast. So now I would just follow the coast. There is this last stand village over there, but at the moment I would just pass it by. On my last session with this character here, I actually did a detailed raid of that last stand town. And yeah, for now, let's skip it. Let's play it realistically. Of course, in real life, it's like that. It is more than a week ago that I was there. And stuff has respawned. Loot has respawned, but let's do it in a realistic way and assume that, yeah, it's just something like a day ago and there would not be any new loot since then. Okay, nothing. So, these sounds. My own footsteps sometimes scare me to death. Let's check. This one, you sometimes have good loot there, and yeah, what is this? Any chance of finding something? Nope, don't think so. There is nothing. A long time abandoned and since then often looted. Yeah, I mean, this shows how immersive the game actually is. Yeah, I don't have a belt, so no need for the pouches. I do have this hip pack, and that's fine. Yeah, it's sometimes you just sit down in a bush and then your own rustling in the bush really gives you the feeling that somebody's on your heels. That's pretty scary now and then. Yeah, to me it shows just how realistic, immersive the game actually is. Yeah, and on the other hand, you see that I'm this kind of guy who receives this immersion. And this sometimes is bad for me, I mean, in terms of survival. The less you get dragged into the game, the more reasonable you actually react in certain situations, and the more calm you are, for example, in fights or when you aim. And me, who gets himself dragged into the game, or into any game, pretty much, of course, it's often like that. Yeah, I'm starting to, I wouldn't say panic, but somehow, react more realistic than it would be if you would be fully aware that it's just a game and nothing is at stake. So there is this weird tower still there. Yeah, I could go over there, but should I really do that? Nah, come on. Let's just carry on. Let's see that we don't get wet feet here. Let's see if it's worthwhile to do some looting. What is this? Yeah, I don't know the name for this kind of plant in English. It's probably one of these plants where you have your wastewater being refined so that it's not too dirty and you can put it back into the sea or into the rivers. Yep, yeah, okay. Yippee Yep would be the correct name, right? Yeah, so let me just call you Yep, that's good. I like that. I like the name anyway. So, by the way, guys, if there is any new guy in the game, in the chat, I mean, so don't hesitate. Even if it looks like we do have a pretty private chat here, I'm always glad to have just any of your comments on the game, on what you think about the stream, on your weather, or just anything. just no politics and no religion. If you said that you're interested in historic games, so did you also play? I mean, are you also interested in, the further history, like medieval centuries? So I was just wondering if you did dive into Kingdom Come, which I think is an amazing game. It's just, eating so much time that I never really managed to get deep into it. Haha, yes, okay. It's great, isn't it? I did play quite a bit of the campaign of the first game of Kingdom Come 1. But that's always my problem, that I never managed the playthrough through these kind of games. Even though I love them. And Kingdom Come is a great game. I love the atmosphere, love all the mechanics, be it combat and experience and armor, weapons. And the riding, everything. And what I particularly like is this concept that they really took a map and reconstructed a certain area of their country, how it must have been something like 600 years ago. Or was it even 800 years ago? No, I think it's 1400, right? Roughly. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, when I start streaming, it's usually already pretty late around here. So I have a job and I have a family, and so usually I don't have some free time pretty late in the evening, and then I very much enjoy to do some relaxing gameplay. There is a Zodiac floating out there, and for this I'm definitely gonna take the effort to swim over there and check. It's 1:10 at night at the moment. And as tomorrow I'm gonna do, well, no, not home office, but I can sleep a little bit longer. I have to get to the office, but it's always for me the question, do I go before the rush hour or after the rush hour? And so tomorrow I don't have any commitment early in the morning at work, so I'm gonna go after the rush hour, which means I can do a little bit of streaming and do it a little bit longer into the night. Okay, you see, this is some kind of shallow part of the sea. Let's see that we get out there, maybe without swimming. Might be we will get wet feet, maybe wet trousers, which will reduce our body temperature, but we still have some margin. We can put this one on again. Let's see if we get too warm, but I'm pretty sure that by now we will get wet feet sooner or later. There we are. Still not yet. Yeah, the hiking boots are maybe a bit more resistant to getting wet than other gear. Oh, what is this? That sounds like some quote from a philosopher or famous author or something. There we are wet. What about our trousers? The pants are still dry. I try to not walk across the stones because... Wow! Okay. Yeah. So now let's see how close we actually are to that raft. Yeah, we still have to do some swimming. Yeah, usually there is something missing in the boats. Most of the boats that I've found, they are very rare, and if I found any of them, they had no spark plug or no fuel and no spark plug. Only just a few weeks ago I ran into one boat which was actually working. I think it even was on this map here. I mean the Wildlands derail server. Interesting. If you swim fast, you don't lose stamina. I think you don't. It might be that I never did it. Don't know if you need a tool to mount a spark plug. I don't know. I usually don't have this stuff with me. Okay, yeah, there we are. No spark plug. And you can't paddle it. But yeah, we can take a seat. Yeah, okay, of course. No spark plug, no nothing to move. Now the question is, if we are here by now, shall we get over to the island? No, I don't think that it is worthwhile. I'm not sure if you need a tool to install a spark plug. In real life you would. Yeah, if I found a spark plug next time, I would keep it. But when you are early in the game, it's pretty hard when you have no carrying capacity. Then you really have to prioritize. And then something like a spark plug is really not the thing that you would keep. Okay, that was it. You can't ring the field vest. I wasn't aware. But you can ring the other stuff. This function gear, like the tactical shirt and the hunter gear, they are kind of special fabric which doesn't get soaked. So that's quite comfortable here. It's only wet and that's not soaked or drenched, even though we were swimming. And we can take a look at the other gear, which is not special fabric. They got here. See this one? Ah, no, that was a head above the water. This one is soaked. This one is also just wet. Yeah, most of this stuff we can't ring. Funny thing that you can't ring the vest actually. So let's get back to the mainland. Pretty comfortable that we don't have to swim there. Yeah, of course we are pretty open around here. If any player would approach us from over there, some evil meaning player, he could easily snipe us here in the open and we wouldn't get any cover. Yeah, but that's the risk of the game. By the way, give me just 1 second. Okay. Hey, okay, alright. Thank you. Vielen Dank. Und ja, viel Erfolg bei den Hausaufgaben. Yeah. Have fun with the homeworks. No, let's not be cynical. But I wish you the best efficiency with your homework. So I think I'm gonna maybe do another 2 hours of streaming. And then I'm gonna have to go to bed at latest. But I think I'm gonna stream the next few days just as well. Maybe tomorrow another DayZ stream, and the other days I'm gonna go back to U-Boat. So in principle it's a little bit like in the first half of the week, if I find the opportunity to do some streaming, I do DayZ. And for the second half of the week and the weekend, I'm doing U-Boat, definitely. Yeah, okay, alright. So, looking forward to see you, and yeah, have a good and efficient homework run. Yeah, weight loss got the information. I didn't get it yet, but yeah. So weight loss, you said, end of January, we would get the type 9. And a lot of other stuff. That's gonna be great. Yeah, up to now, when these developers of U-Boat promised something, they actually did deliver. Yeah, so much wilderness here in the north. Okay, we need some food. We have some canned food, canned stuff, maybe. Maybe that's the right point in time to actually do a little bit of fishing. Now, for this we need a long stick. And this is a nice place to do some fishing, I think. Let's do that. Nah, no firewood. I need a long stick, please. No. Give me a long stick. Hey, all these bushes only give me firewood and no long stick. There it is. The long stick and combine it with the rope will give me an improvised fishing rod. I do have the lures, so for the lures I even don't need a bait, which is great. I don't know, let's start with this one. I'm no fishing expert, I have to admit. So, up to now they didn't introduce some special stuff so that you could only go for certain fish with certain lure. I would be lost with that. But of course there are many people, I think, who play this game who are a big fan of fishing and might like it if it were even a bit more detailed. The modeling, I mean. Yeah, now let's do it. They even changed it a bit already. There is really something like a steep underwater cliff right in front of me, not like a shallow shore. Hey, come on. Come on. Did they change something about the mechanics meanwhile? Maybe they did. Maybe it became harder to actually do a catch. For the lure, I don't need a bait, do I? Hey, come on, that can't be. Why don't I get anything here? Now try this lure. By the way, did it get any more damage? No. Let's see if we are more lucky with this lure. I have no idea what they're good for. Maybe there are lures for freshwater fish and lures for seawater fish. I don't know. Hey, in the past that was pretty easy to catch a few fish. So I'm really wondering if I do something wrong here. No fish in the sea. Okay. Pretty much looks like it doesn't work. Do I have bones? No. Well, or on some servers you can craft improvised hooks out of wood. Let's see if we can do it on this server. I'm not quite sure if we can. So we're gonna split the long stick. And now see what happens if we apply the knife. Improvised hook. Let's craft an improvised hook. Two. And now for the improvised hook we need some bait. So let's dig for worms. Yeah, let's dig for 2 worms and then first try out whether it works. Might be that there is just no fish there. But would there be any means to figure out where there would be a good position to fish? Okay, you can't combine them. The lure actually doesn't need a bait. Now let's see if we can go with that. Yeah, we are in the middle of nowhere. We should really be left alone here by other players. Let's see if this works better. It got away, but at least we had some fish biting. It took the bait and we didn't get it. Hey, come on, nothing again. Yeah, dig some more worms. Do I have to be faster? Or do I have to give it a little bit more time to connect with the hook and drag it out then? try. Maybe they just have reduced the probability of being successful with that. At least it seems to work better than the lure. There we are, we got a fish. Let's see if we are lucky and get another one. Still nice weather, that's good, so we don't have to struggle with the rain at the moment. And we get a good orientation in principle with the sun being well visible, but yeah, as we are following the western coast, just northwards anyway, orientation is not the issue actually. Come on, give me a fish. Yeah, there we have two. Now let's gut and prepare. This one as well as this one. Now let's see where we are gonna light a fire. Let's go here. Put our stuff down here. Yeah, we are gonna start a fire here. Get the remaining fish. Hey, should we try one more? Two more worms and see if we get more fish. For a little barbecue. Ah, yeah, talking about barbecue. So My smoker actually broke down 1.5 years ago, and I didn't manage to get a new one since then. So that was great, for example, to have fish like salmon smoked. Well, so for us, what was the type of fish that we get here? Mackerel. Yeah, okay, mackerel is great as well. Pretty fatty fish. I think I never had a grilled or cooked mackerel around my places where I lived. You usually got the mackerel smoked. I mean, cold smoked. Not hot smoked, if you know what I mean. And that's pretty great. Lecker. Very lecker. Come on, fingers crossed that we get something and not a boot. Okay, shall we try one more? Yeah, lecker. That's the German term for something being very tasteful. And I think it's not a general German term, but it is originating from, the local area slang where I am from. And, well, I come from an area which is pretty close to the Netherlands. And so for quite a long time I had Dutch customers, and I had a very close and good relationship to them. And I remember once at lunchtime I said something like that the food is lekker, which means it's tasteful. And then he told me that in Dutch they have that term lekker just as well, and they use it for food. And then that was very funny. So he started, I mean, imagine it was a kind of a business lunch actually. And he started to explain me that in the Netherlands the word lekker can be referred to food, but it can also be referred to girls, and it can also be referred to body parts of girls. That was, I think, a very funny remark if you keep in mind that, yeah, we were actually having kind of a business dinner. Was it lunch? Yeah, it was lunch actually. Yeah, but these guys were great. That were guys from ASML, from that Dutch worldwide market leader of semiconductor producing machines, to let me put it like very general. Wafer steppers actually. So I think I do have a lot of fish by now. What am I gonna do? The fishing hooks. One fishing hook here. Do I have just any single slot left? Not really. Is there something that I just don't want to keep? This one I don't want to keep. The 22 rounds, they are just pea shooters. see that we get back up here and find the place where we did put down. Oh shit, that's so hard. You drop stuff and you don't find it again. Here we are, close to the tree. Nice, alright. So we have all the mackerel fillet piled up here. That one's yeah, they were both ruined. Okay, don't have to care for them anymore. But they gave me good service. Now let's dismantle. The fishing rod. So now we have a long stick and we have the rope bag. The long stick is good to. Okay, that one is ruined. That's no problem because we still have the this knife. Yeah, let's sharpen it and we're gonna use it as a stick for our barbecue. But we need a few more. Yeah, we need some more fuel. Got the firewood, that's good. Let's hope that we still have a bit of. My gloves are getting damaged. Doing all that work, cutting trees and everything, getting firewood with it. Now let me see. I do have rags, they're disinfected, but do I have some packages? Well, that's kind of a weird 9 times 3, 9. No idea what you need it for. Let's unpack it. And then we can use the package as, yeah, to some kind of igniting our fire with it. So this one and combine it with this one and craft a fireplace out of that. And there it is. And the fuel for the fireplace. Hey. Yeah, in principle that should be sufficient, right? So do we have matches? Yeah, we have matches. So let's ignite the fireplace. And yeah, keep fingers crossed that no survivor, no evil meaning survivor is passing by, seeing that smoke from our fire. There we are. I haven't been doing this open fire barbecuing for a while. I usually try to get into a building, but as we don't have any building around here in the wilderness of northern Deer Isle, we have to do it old school like that. The weather is actually deteriorating a bit. Looks like it's gonna rain sooner or later. So good that we have the fire running, that we got the fire working before it started to rain. When stuff gets wet, you have a hard time of igniting the fire actually. Yeah, we have a road flare. With a road flare you can ignite just any fire in just any weather. But it's good to have the road flare as backup. Alright, this one is done. And let's do the next one. So this is going to take some time. Maybe I need some more fuel. Let's see. I'm getting warm. I'm getting a plus symbol close to the fire, which means that I have some stored heat and wouldn't cool down for quite a while. Also, this was an invention of modders for the Malsk map, and they implemented it on vanilla quite a few months ago. So there you see how great it is when you open your game for modders. That's so inspiring. And I think opening the game for modders has earned these guys from Bohemia Interactive. It has earned them a whole lot of money. On the one hand, there is Arma, which they did, and on the other hand, DayZ, and DayZ is actually earning them money since 10 years, or maybe longer, because that's when the mod came out. In the beginning, DayZ was just a Arma mod, so there was this Arma military simulation with this vast, generous map, and some guy, Dean Rocket Hall was his name. He actually, in his free time, made this mod on that map. And that was so great that they finally hired that guy to make a standalone official game out of it. Now it's raining. Let's hope that the fire is gonna keep burning. Good. Yeah, we were just in time. If we hadn't the fire running before the rain was starting, we were quite a bit in trouble. But when the fire is working once, the rain wouldn't extinguish it, I think. Yeah, and generally I think we are relatively fine in terms of body temperature. We do have quite some good clothing, which doesn't get completely wet. The server will restart in 10 minutes. Okay, that's 2 o'clock then around here, and I think I'm gonna continue playing a bit afterwards. Let's get a bit closer to the fire, but not too close. Don't want to have my feet burned or my shoes destroyed. Yeah, we are still fine close to the fire, although we must be soaking wet more or less by now. We are not starting to freeze. Yeah, next time when we have finished this one here, we have to check whether we do have sufficient fuel still. That food is steaming actually, and that's new, I think, relatively new. You didn't have that in the past. That hot stuff was actually emitting steam. Yeah, we still have 2 chunks of firewood, so comfortably sufficient fuel for the barbecue. Yeah, still 2 logs of firewood. And some more roasting, but we still have plenty of fuel. And we are not getting cold around here. Yeah, this one has stopped steaming because temperature is going down, but that one, that's probably the one that we just freshly barbecued, so it's still steamingly hot, searing hot. Yeah, I would be pretty curious who is in the stream by now. My guess is that weight loss, that you're still in, maybe just lurking, but yeah. EP up, went out, so yeah, don't feel pushed if you just want to lurk. That's perfectly fine, of course, but I'm always curious of who is actually in the stream. My guess is that it's a few old acquaintances. But if not, I would be curious even the more who you are. If you play the game or if you're just in because you thought that you would get some U-boat gameplay, but you didn't. Do you play this game by yourself? Where you're from? What's the weather in your place in real life? Yeah, all these things. Always happy to have a little chat, actually. But as I said, don't feel pushed. Just watch. If you like to watch, you can stay completely anonymous and unmolested by interaction, if you like. Just fine. I understand that. Sometimes I also just want to kind of, yeah, just do a little bit of watching without all this interaction. So here we are. Got it. At that point, let me stay close to the fire to keep up the warmth, and let me be AFK just for 1 minute. Okay, good timing, I would say. The fireplace is just running out of fuel, which is all right. Hey, can't I cut it into chunks? Let's split it. I'm just curious whether I could restart the fire. So what happens? Reignite. You can do it. Nice. I never did that before all these years, and I never did this reigniting. Nice to see that it works. So the knife is damaged. Let's use the sharpening stone and repair it while we are close. Nice. We have 2+ symbols by now. And the kitchen knife is worn, and the sharpening stone is still in pretty nice shape. Now let's have lunch. I don't know, in-game? What's the in-game time? Not quite sure. I think it's early afternoon. Let's hope that we don't lose the gear when the server's gonna restart. But usually it's persistent. I think it's pretty reliably persistent. So when the server restarts, don't worry, I'm gonna continue. The server will take something like 1 or 2 minutes to get restarted, and then I'm gonna continue. Yeah, the server must go down by now. Get this to our hands. Stomach. Yeah, okay. That's not too much nutrition, so our stomach is still not yet full, although we have already eaten something like 3. There we are. Alright, guys. So let's just wait for something like 2 minutes, and then we are gonna go back to the server. still feel in the mood to do a little bit more gameplay, a little bit more DayZ gameplay. The survival stuff, the exploration stuff actually. DayZ is a wonderful exploration map, and the Wildlands servers are also, yeah, delivering a wonderful mod loadout. I very much like them. Particularly because one feature is that, yeah, loot is pretty hard on the Wildlands servers, much harder than on other servers, and this is something that I would expect from the apocalypse. To be hard. I'm sorry. Let's give it just a few more seconds before we get back onto the server. I am just checking the figures of that stream. It's not that bad. Having quite a few people. Lots of followers actually. That's great. Nice to have all of you guys in the stream. Sorry, don't be worried. I don't see your names. I just see generally that 70% of the people in the stream up to now were followers, which is a very high percentage. So thanks for being in. And yeah, thanks for staying in. I think I'm gonna do another hour or something of streaming. Here we are. I think we could get back onto the server. Let's try. Okay, weird sound. Again, shit. That might be a bug on that server, that what you get in your hands is lost on restart. I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking about that at the very beginning of the game. I was kicked from the server for whatsoever reason and lost the map that I was holding in my hands back then. Or is it still somewhere? No, it isn't. I need to get to some civilization to get some means to repair my gear, like Zoin kit or leather Zoin kit. That's actually what I need. So let's keep on going. I am now following the coast, and to the right of me is that very eerie swamp. I'm definitely not going into the swamp. That's just too eerie for my taste, but yeah, following the coast. And yeah, finally, I would like to check that town in the very north. But I mean, imagine how enormously large that map is now. I'm already traveling something like 2 hours to the north, and I just have crossed a small part of the map. So this open world is really amazing. If you ask me, DayZ actually has the best and most amazing open world of any game. Well, U-Boat also has an amazing open world. It's actually the whole world. You can just sail anywhere. You can even circumnavigate the world. I think some guys did it in U-Boat. Don't know. Weight loss games if you did it, but I well remember that somebody in the stream, a guy who I felt to be quite reliable with such stories, said that he circumnavigated the world in U-Boat. So by the way, I just see that the number of watches is going up. Don't worry, you're anonymous. I'm just talking about the number going up. So if you just want to watch and lurk silently, that's perfectly fine. Always happy to see that a few guys are actually interested in what I stream. But of course you could make a little streamer like me even more happy if you put some comments into the chat or even give me a follow. But don't feel pushed. Just watching is perfectly fine. So, well, if you have some experience with the game, DayZ, I'm always interested in, what you're up to actually. The guys watching the stream, are you actually playing the game by yourself? Do you have years of experience like me? Or are you just new and want to learn the ropes? Or are you new and already very good in the game, much better than me? Like, what I can say is that I always do have some trouble with, taking an aim and in gunfights. So, okay, so we are. That takes ages. There we still see the raft, the Zodiac floating there. That was the Zodiac that we were actually taking. Yeah, of course, but yeah, we took the time and did lunch. Took a lot of time to get the fish, get it gutted, get it barbecued, and still, well, now we are well fed at least. Let's see that we have a little drink, empty our bottles so we can refill it if we might run into another well. But that was always a problem on Deer Isle, to get fresh water. The further you get to the north on Deer Isle, the more rare wells actually are, and even freshwater resources. So there were quite some rivers in the... oh shit, this is the swamp. Let's keep it at bay. There were always some rivers in the northern half of Deer Isle, but they often turned out to be just fjords with seawater, which you couldn't drink. Hey guys, people in the stream are getting even more. Great to have you in. No idea who you are, just see the number going up, perfectly fine. Thanks for watching, and I would much appreciate if you would give me some word in the chat. Just give a hi, see who you are, or tell me what you think about the game, what you think about my stream. is another raft there, I think. But it might also be just a live raft and not. There is. Shall we check it? Come on, we are wet anyway. No, we are not yet. So let's get out there. There is another Zodiac. And let's see if we are lucky and maybe this one has a spark plug and fuel. That would be great if I had a Zodiac, a working Zodiac. That would be pretty comfortable to get further on. Okay. Now I got rid of my plus symbols. Okay, no spark plug again. That's kind of program wise. Yeah, let's get back to the coast. Where is it? Yeah. No spark plug. Didn't even check whether there was fuel in it or not. Yeah, this is kind of a smooth gameplay. Late night relaxing gameplay. Of course, things can get a bit pretty stressy, pretty tense in DayZ. There's all these long stretches where it's just relaxing. So you need a particular mindset, I think, for playing DayZ, for watching DayZ. Hey, come on, we should be back to the coast, to the shore. Hey, get me to the shore, and then I'm gonna ring my gear and see that we get at least back to not freezing anymore. So we can't ring the field west, Okay, the tactical shirt is even soaked. Does it mean that we have to wring it 3 times or only 2 times? I think 2 times, right? 1 time and 2 times. And it should be damp by then. Yep. Now the hunter pants, they are only wet, so the fabric of the hunter gear is even better in rain. So we just have to wring it once to get it dry again, and it gets a much less debuff in terms of reduced warmth that it gives. Alright, there we are. Allow me to be AFK just for 1 more minute again. Alright, back again. Are we still live? Yes, we are. Nice that you're still in stream. So it looks a bit like the weather is improving. So we have the bottle empty. If we might run into another well, we could refill it. By the way, I see quite a few people in the stream, which is perfectly fine. Just see the numbers, but sound of flies might also indicate a corpse. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh shit. Now I am in dire straits. Having military guys upon me, and several of them. This is gonna be troublesome. Hey guys. 1, 2. At least I get some reward for killing the guys. And a field vest. Nice. Which is in better condition than mine. So that's good. Let's switch it. So that was kind of a win-win, I would say. What do we have? This is damaged. My tactical shirt is badly damaged. Hunter pants damaged. So my rear gear really got some damage. And I don't have the means to repair it at the moment. there's more of them. Was it? I was so sure that I heard one more zombie screaming. Oh, let's get away. He lost eyes on us, did he? Or is he following us? I don't know. Maybe we can do a little bit of a sprint. Maybe then he is losing our scent. Yeah, I think we got him off our tail, but yeah, still, the tactical shirt is so badly damaged. Don't know. They were military zombies. If there was any military base, military loot. Yeah, it's a pity that we lost our map in the beginning of the stream. Because I would be pretty curious what we have over there. Yeah, but let's stay on our side here. Yeah, we need some civilization. We need a sewing kit. What about? Yeah, what we do have is the glue. Yeah, we can't use the glue on that one. And my shoes are badly damaged by now just as well. We can't use the glue on these as well. That's gonna be a problem sooner or later. So I am wearing some badly damaged stuff by now. And I still have a long walk to that old town in the north. Yeah, I was doing pretty fine against these two military zombies, but still, they gave me quite a bit of damage. When your footwear, your shoes are destroyed, you are in dire straits. We still have some rags, so we could craft some improvised shoes out of the rags, but yeah, they will wear off pretty fast just as well. So that's a problem. And well, the hiking boots are pretty good. It would be a pity if we would actually walk them down, wear them down till they're destroyed. Yeah, but now we have already traveled so far north, there is no point. That's weird. I'm really not aware of where I am Probably I have to do a little bit of swimming here again. Ring the stuff. Now that we did the swimming, the tactical shot is actually soaked. If I only could repair it. The hunter pants being damaged. I need a Zoin kit. I need a Zoin kit. Oh, that's only. Damn. So let's get it on, get it on, get it on. Yeah, if that rings a bell with anybody. A band from the late 90s. Get it on. Any guess which band I have in my mind? Hey, Paul. Nice to have you in. Good evening. Wasn't aware that you were watching. Yeah, no. Yeah, nice to have you in. Yeah, actually, I wasn't thinking about ZZ Top, but I was thinking about a band which was from I don't know, Norway or Sweden or Finland. I'm not quite sure, and the name of the band was Turbo Negro, and they were pretty much politically incorrect. And maybe just having said their band name might score me down on YouTube. I don't know. But they were really doing some great badass rock and roll, punk rock, however you would call it. And they were pretty much played on the radio stations back then. Like Get It On was one of the titles. Yeah, okay, yes. Good point, yeah. Good point. The poor Spanish, yeah. But on the other hand, I think the Spanish guys are always pretty much about swearing anyway. So it maybe wouldn't make a difference. There is another raft. Now, Am I already reaching that northern town? I'm really not sure. Hey, please, if you would please refrain from using these terms in the chat. That might give me some dire straits, quite some trouble. Please leave it out. Yeah. Okay, yes, that's just the country, yeah. That's just the country. Yep. Yeah, the automat here just told me that he held back a message. Don't know which one it was. Yeah. Yeah, that's always the point. I mean, but let's try to stay politically correct in a way. But of course, there are some things which become weird. Yep, exactly. There is this country, yes. Yeah, yep. And yeah, however it is, you just don't want to piss people off. And with this stuff, it's kind of, I don't know. I well understand that it makes sense to be a bit careful with our conversation about that one, but I actually started it when I was talking about that band, so it's completely my fault actually. Now let's take a look at the engine. And it also doesn't have a spark plug, so whoop. F it. And let's get to the shore. Yeah, good thing on this server is that you can swim fast and it wouldn't reduce your stamina. Hey Paul, it's so nice to have you in. Pretty much enjoyed that. It's so late. And yeah, when I play DayZ, the stream is not that much visited. Like if I were doing U-Boat. But still I like the game, and now and then like to go back to it. And even the more am I happy to see some familiar faces in the chat. Come on now. When do we start to walk? There we are. We are completely down in temperature. It's getting more and more. Hey, I'm a bit confused about the position of the sun, but let's ignore it. Soaked. Hey, weight loss. Nice to see that you're still in. Good evening. Yeah, well, you already had a good evening, but good evening again. Great to have you in still. Yeah, I'm doing a bit of a late night stuff tonight. If I look at the time, it's 2:30. Maybe I'm gonna do another half an hour or something. Yeah, you got destroyed by the New Republic, so which game was it actually? You have to help me. Ah, okay, Star Wars Armada, yeah, alright. I always wanted to take a look at that one. So now here we are. That's an area where I haven't been before. Pretty sure. So, I mean, yeah, the map is so vast. That's the wonderful thing about the map. Do you stream it actually? Wasn't sure. I never saw you stream in that one. If you did, I would check it out. But excuse me for 60 seconds. I'll be back in a minute. All right. Let's carry on. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So, did you actually stream that one? So, could I have a look at it tomorrow? Ah, okay, all right. Yeah, as for me, I spent a lot of time on the roads, so there was a hell lot of traffic, and like under perfect conditions it would take me 50 minutes from work back home, and tonight this evening actually, or after late afternoon, yeah, it was evening, it took me something like 2 hours, almost 2 hours. I'm just glad to have Spotify giving me some reasonable stuff to do. And actually, what I did on this drive back home tonight was, for the very first time, listening to kind of an audiobook of Charles Bukowski, actually. Ah, okay, you had streamed one. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm really curious on that one. Oh shit, I can't even close the door here. Yeah, calm. A policeman zombie. Yeah, so on my way back home, I listened to Oscar Wilde, which, yeah, I didn't listen to it for the first time, but I had some other audiobook sessions, and I have to admit that I quite like the guy. I think in real life he must have been quite some arrogant asshole or something, at least people say, but what he is writing down I pretty much like. Two of them at the time. 1, 2, 3. Hey, shit. Again. 2 zombies coming from me. Oh, shit. What is this? SSG magazine. Hey, come on. I can't pick up just any magazine. But the battery is fine. Nah, come on. Let's just put it somewhere. Come on, guys. I need some. Hey, the field vest is badly damaged. Could I at least repair the field vest with the glue stick? I think I can't. Nope. Oh shit, I need something. Just fucking need. This place is so terribly fortified. I need to get in and do some looting. I need some repair kits. I need a Zoom kit and I need a leather Zoom kit for my shoes. I'm really getting in trouble with my equipment by now. That's the problem. Yeah, on the one hand it's the problem, on the other hand it's the challenge. And the beautiful setting of Deer Isle. So you're really doing exploration. Yeah, this pretty much looks like another Last Stand thingy. Ooh, that's a building that I don't know. Can I close the door? Okay, that's kind of bugged, isn't it? No, I can close the door. Any other entry? Ah, nice. Okay, can't close that one. Pretty much like this one. Yeah, I actually did. It did happen to me in the past. Okay, zombies somewhere. Okay, I don't know. Is it a zombie or is it a player? Pretty much sounds like a player. Wow, my shoes are in such a bad condition actually. Okay. That's my own shadow. And there he's vanishing in the barracks. Oh, come on. Is he coming up? Yeah, he is. Hey, come on. Now it's one of these hardcore assholes. Fuck. Look at what the guy can actually take. Oh, shit. Did you see that? Did you see what the guy actually did take? So here we are. And let's hope that, oh shit, the saline bag is ruined. What a pity. That's what we would have needed now to get our blood level up quickly. Oh shit. That was a badass guy, wasn't he? I think I have a lot of gear being ruined by now. Let's see. Damaged, ruined. Ah, shit. Okay, the charcoal tablets are ruined. Tetracycline. Ah, shit, I lost my consciousness. Yeah, I definitely gave the guy a headshot, and I'm pretty sure that it was a hit, and he still survived. that was one of these badass guys. Like I had one of them before. Let's have a drink. Let's hope that drinking helps us recovering blood. Not sure. Yeah, I do have more bandages. Okay, here we are. This one. What about the pistol? P1. It's out of rounds. Do I have any P1 mag in spare? It's 9mm. Yeah, okay, alright. So let's harvest the 9mm out of these and drop the mags. Not having an MP5. Any more 9mm? Come on, let's drop stuff that we don't need. This is 9mm, yeah. Let's unpack it. It's just 9mm and it's in good condition. So can reload the mag. Luckily I didn't attract any more other zombies. The gun. Put one round into the gun and put the mag into the gun. There we are. "45 rounds, whatever." Fainting again, yeah, because I'm on low blood. Let me use this opportunity to be AFK for 1 more minute. And hope that no other zombie is approaching us. Yeah, that guy was tough, wasn't he? Never had that on any other server. So is this some particular feature on the Wildlands server that you have these mega tough zombies? And I didn't even find any good loot with him. Okay, didn't want to drop the gun because the gun actually gives me pistol is fully loaded again. The pump gun is fully loaded again. The Scorpion is not, but I can load it. Let's do it. Right. And what about the 5? That gun is still alright, just having one round in it. And I'm slowly regaining blood. Let's have some food. Okay, and let's get moving. What I think is north. Where did I come from? Ah, that's out. I came from there, right? Just can't quite figure out. Having the sun going down there. get up there and get some nice overview, maybe. Oh, these noises. They are so, kind of realistic. Can I climb that one? So let's check this little build. Yeah, let's check it. That's pretty frightening if there is always this low but still opportunity to have this kind of enemies. Where you have to dump loads of bullets into them until they actually die. So let's avoid that guy up there and follow the coast. A Zwin kit. Let me find a Zwin kit. Yeah, amazing. That's actually the second time that I run into one of these hardcore zombies with this one character here. I still have some water. Let's drop that one. So I think in the very first stream that I did with this character here, I already ran into this. Where I had to dump loads of bullets into the guy until he died, and here I had it just again. And being so low on blood, winter parka. I know, come on, the tactical shirt is ruined, so I would actually trade it for the winter parka. It has larger carrying capacity. By the way, and drop the ruined tactical shirt. Well, now let's check the other buildings, building for building. We need loot. Although this is a bit risky if we run into zombies. A fight might quickly be our death in the condition that we are. Here we are. Alcoholic tincture. Let's pick it up and see if we might later want to do some more disinfection. NPC rounds. Why not? Picking them up. Need it for my submachine gun. Nothing. Okay, prepans. Okay, some. Yeah, we have one road flare. So let's state that one. Okay, I think I just heard zombie noises again. Nice. We're still alive, but hey, we need a sewing kit. We need something to repair our clothings, or soon we are gonna be in trouble. Please let me just find an ordinary sewing kit. They are actually pretty rare lately. I don't need a handheld receiver. Duct tape. Okay, let's see. This might help. What can I repair with the duct tape? Not the vest. What about the pants? Yes, I can repair my pants. There it is. So that was already all used up. But that's good. And the vest, hey, come on, how could I repair the vest? I do have epoxy putty. Can't I use the epoxy putty to repair vests? Or do I need I don't know what I need. Let's see. I'm getting warm at the moment. Canopy tent, yeah, come on. Nothing that I need. Hey, come on. That's not. Nice. Finding the helmet. Hey up. Great. Actually, I wasn't expecting that we see each other tonight again. And yeah, I was almost to stop in the stream and go into bed, but now that you're back, I feel obliged to continue just a little bit for a few more minutes. Good evening. So how was your homework going? Hey, no, it's not up to you to be sorry. It's just the time difference that we actually do have. Yeah, bedtime. Yep. I'm gonna go to bed. Just, come on, it's almost 3:30. Yes, I have to go to bed. Same for me. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That sounds good. But yeah, for me, for us, weight loss and me, we are situated in Europe, which means that it's pretty late here in Germany. It's 20 minutes past 3. That's little bit later than I wanted to have it tonight. And yeah, sorry guys, but I have to turn in Henderson, Paul. Yeah, that was great to have you in. Do I have any use for the burlap sack? But the sharpening knife, that is very welcome. So before ending it, let's pick up the sharpening knife. That's just good to have it. So yeah, sleep is important, of course. I mean, it's just a saying, but the bottom line actually is that you really need some sleep, or yeah, people get sick when they don't have enough sleep. So guys, it was a pleasure again to have you in. Thanks for joining the stream. Yub, Paul, White Loss. Thanks for joining, and I think I can afford to do another stream tomorrow. Let's see. So, have a good night and see you tomorrow. Bye bye, guys.